Now for our story. When Randy Lane left the Descari farmhouse late this afternoon, his mother was still helping Dr. Lewis attend to Carla, Mario Descari's wife. It was Bill Meade who had discovered Carla lying unconscious on the floor. When Sheriff Goodwin finally arrived, Randy and Bill knew that the trouble had only begun, that the results of today's happenings might extend far beyond the Descari farm, might touch the Lane family and Peggy Douglas as well. And so Randy Lane was feeling pretty miserable when he arrived home. He dreaded telling his pretty cousin what had occurred. And to make it worse, Peggy was in one of her gay, light-hearted moods. He hated to spoil it. Now, Randy is sitting moodily in the easy chair by the fireplace as Peggy comes downstairs from her bedroom. She is wearing a very frivolous hat, which looks charming on her.
Randy?
Yeah?
Well, look at me.
What's the matter?
Randy Lane, don't you notice anything different about me?
Should I?
Oh, my goodness, I don't usually wear a flowered hat with a veil at the same time as I'm wearing a pair of old slacks and a sweater.
Oh. New hat.
Yes. Well, don't you like it?
Sure, yeah. It's fine, Peg.
Such enthusiasm. And I was sure you'd think it was becoming. Now, if you don't like it, probably Bill won't either.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. Besides, I never said I didn't like it.
But you never said you did either. You know, I wouldn't even mind if you thought it was funny looking. I mean, if you'd at least notice it. That's how a woman can tell.
Can tell what?
Well, whether her hat's a success.
You know how I am, Peg. I'm the absent-minded type.
Oh, you aren't either. You're usually only too observing. Randy, what's wrong with you?
Me? Oh, nothing.
Now, don't give me that. I can tell. As a matter of fact, there's something funny about this whole house today. Where's Aunt Mary?
She's over at the Descaris.
Oh. But why is she staying so late? She didn't ask him to start supper or anything. Randy, is something wrong over there? At the Descaris?
Yes, Peggy. Something is.
Oh, Randy.
There's been trouble.
What happened?
I don't know exactly. All we know is that Bill went over there to see Mario and...
Yes, he said he was going to. He said he was going to talk to him about, about Mario's being jealous of Bill and Carla.
Yeah, well, when he got there, Bill said nobody answered the door. He waited, and somehow he got the feeling something was wrong. The door was open, so he walked in. He found Carla lying on the floor.
Oh, no. Oh, the poor kid. Well, had she fainted or slipped or something?
That's the trouble, Peggy. We don't know for sure, but it didn't look very much like an accident.
Oh?
It looked very much as if someone had struck Carla, like someone had knocked her unconscious.
You mean on purpose? That someone hit her deliberately?
I know how impossible that seems,
But who would do a thing like that? Besides, doesn't Carla know what happened? Didn't she see who did it?
We don't know yet. Carla hasn't recovered consciousness.
She hasn't. Awful. Randy, wasn't Mario around anywhere?
No, he wasn't.
Well, why do you say it that way? As if Mario had... Oh, but Mario wouldn't. Well, surely he wouldn't do a thing like that to Carla.
I know. I feel the same way, but where is he? His car was there. So was the truck. And he wasn't anywhere around the farm. I scoured the place. I yelled my head off trying to find him.
Well, maybe there's a very simple explanation, and we'll find it out later. There must be.
Women always hope something like that. Mom's the same way. She just couldn't admit that Mario might be guilty. And yet, we all know what a terrible temper he has.
Oh, I know, Randy, but his own wife. I just can't believe it.
All the more reason he'd do something like this. I mean, because of it being his own wife. He had this wild idea about Bill, and he wouldn't listen to any of us when we told him how silly the stories were. Remember?
Yes, I know. Oh, I do hope Carla's going to be all right. She's had so much trouble. Now, if Mario's hurt her, it'll just break her heart. Why, Randy, she's just crazy about him.
Yeah, I know. Peggy, there's something else that happened. Something that, well, you might as well be prepared for it.
You sound awfully grim, Randy. What is it?
Well, you see, the sheriff got there before I left.
Sheriff Goodwin?
Yes. And he began to ask a lot of questions of Bill and me.
Oh, I see. Well, then that means that there'll be a real investigation and all that.
Yeah. After all, this thing may be a case of attempted murder or assault. The sheriff has to find out about it.
Oh, of course he does.
But the worst of it is, I'm afraid Bill may be in the soup.
Bill?
Yeah.
Well, Randy, Bill didn't have anything to do with it.
No, of course Bill had nothing to do with it.
Well, then what do
Peggy.
you mean? Surely the sheriff doesn't suspect that he had.
Well, to tell the truth, I'd like to know what that guy thinks. Sheriff Goodwin's no fool. But I'm afraid he could tell we were holding out on him.
Were you, Randy?
Yes. Yes, we were. In a way.
But why? Wouldn't it be better to tell everything? Especially since Bill's innocent.
Well, sure, Bill's innocent. I doubt very much whether they'd really charge him with anything. But what we both wanted to avoid was bringing up this business of Mario being jealous of Bill. Don't you see what a nasty picture it would make?
Yes. Yes, I see why you... It wouldn't be very pleasant to have it all brought out. I mean, Mario's suspicions are ridiculous, but they might not look that way to people who didn't know all the details, the background, as we do.
Exactly. And that's what Bill and I figured. So we tried to avoid having the subject come up.
But you think the sheriff realized you were hiding something?
Yeah. At least he gave that impression.
Randy, what do you think really happened?
Well, it looks pretty simple to me, Peg. The way I dope it, Mario got steamed up again about Bill and Carla. They got to quarreling, probably. He got madder and madder and finally lost his head completely. Maybe he didn't even realize what he was doing, but I think he struck her and knocked her down.
Dear.
And when he realized she was out cold, that she was unconscious, Mario probably was scared out of his wits, so he cleared out.
Well, Randy, if that is the way it happened, Carla will be able to explain when she comes to.
Yeah, if she does.
Well, you don't think Carla's hurt that badly, do you?
Well,
Oh, no, Randy. No, she's got to get well.
I sure hope she recovers, Peggy. But even if she does say that Mario's the one who struck her, that won't clear up the motive. That wouldn't necessarily clear it up from Bill's standpoint. There's plenty of people who go around saying that Bill was responsible for wrecking the Descaries' home.
Oh, but there's no truth in that, Randy. They wouldn't dare.
You don't know much about human nature, Peg. They just say that Mario's suspicions were justified. And the only person who could straighten them out as to the truth would be Mario himself.
Mario himself. Mario Descaries, who at that same moment was clinging to the brake rods of a train speeding toward Chicago. Shivering with the cold, his mind filled with chaotic thoughts.
If I can get to Chicago, I can hide somewhere. Hide in a big city. They won't find me. Not in Chicago. It's so big. So lots of people. No, they won't run me down. I'd be just another bum. No good guy. A murderer. Well, that's what I am. Murderer. I killed my wife. I killed her.
And Mario, every reason you had for distrusting Carla was deliberately created by Ben Calvert. Now you are attempting to escape the consequences of your act, while your wife lies unconscious at home. But it's Ben Calvert who is guilty.